We lost! Spoke! Donald Trump is demolishing the White House and YouTube is paying for it. Justin Bieber has a new venture and it's becoming a full-time live streamer. Mosquitoes were discovered in Iceland for the first time ever. The world has a new, most powerful woman. The jewels that were stolen in the heist of the decade might be freaking cursed. And a 23-year-old girl faked her entire pregnancy and ended up convincing her whole family and somehow even the father. How? Let's find out because we're going to be covering all of that and so much more. So let's stop the freaking yapping and let's go. Rockin'! Spooky. Okay, let's start off with a story that has really ruffled some feathers this week. Not only is Donald Trump demolishing a part of the White House to make way for a new $250 million ballroom, but YouTube, of all companies, will be funding it. And bro, let me tell you, the reason why is even crazier than it sounds. So this goes all the way back to 2021. After January the 6th, a bunch of social media platforms, including YouTube, banned Donald Trump. And most people, they appeal the decision and, they try and get their account back. But no, Donald Trump ends up suing them for wrongful suspension. And I mean, he didn't technically win because they were settlements, but he still ended up making a lot of freaking money because X, they settled for about 10 million. Meta agreed to pay a settlement of 25 million. And Alphabet, the owner of YouTube, they agreed to pay 24.5 million. And then not only did Trump take all of that money and put it towards building this new ballroom the size of 1.5 football fields, but also the CEOs of all of those companies which he sued, Alphabet, Meta, and X, they all sat in the front row of his inauguration. God damn! Honestly, you can say a lot of things about Trump, but the hustle is real. Now, obviously, those are just 3 contributors of a long list that are all paying for this new White House. And this is the full list of donors. Most notably, we've got Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, T-Mobile, and even the Winklevoss. No, the Winklevoss. Even the Winklevoss twins. But what makes this project even more interesting is that for the vast majority of previous presidents that have made constructions or built on the White House, they have done so using taxpayer money, meaning they had to go to Congress for approval, not just for the construction, but also the funding. But Trump is self-funding, meaning he hasn't gone to Congress at all. And the part that's become so controversial is that at the start, Trump was like, nah, we don't need to do any demolition to the actual White House. We'll just build adjacent on top of. But as you can see this week, it's basically the entire West Wing gone to rebuild. And so there's a lot of critics this week saying that he is overstepping his presidential authority. Hillary Clinton said, it's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. Now, I must say, Hillary Clinton got absolutely demolished on Twitter for this due to what her husband, Bill Clinton, was doing in your house. Which we won't even go into. But Trump is not even just stopping at his ballroom. He's completely transformed the Oval Office, as you can see with the before and afters, with huge amounts of gold accents. He's renovated the Palm Room, which leads to the Rose Garden, which he has also completely paved over. And then on top of all of that, he is planning to build a huge monument very similar to the Arc de Triomphe, not to be confused with Arc de Trump, that's in Paris. Now, it will reportedly sit opposite the Lincoln Memorial and be bigger, and this is essentially not just for Trump. It's not going to be Arc de Trump, okay, guys? Chill out. This is supposedly for America's 250th birthday, which will be next year. But all of that building, just year 1. So the final conclusion is that America and the rest of the world is going to remember Trump through his constructions for a long time after he is no longer president. But as always, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. We want to see comments, okay? Not just petitions. Moving on. Okay, I've got to start this next story by saying Speed and Kai better watch out, because this week there's a new streamer in town and he's got more followers than both of them combined. And that's just Instagram. Justin Bieber officially did his first ever Twitch live stream last night, and this wasn't some like, just hop on live because I'm bored type beat. No. This was a full proper streaming setup with camera gear, microphones, an internet connection, and he gave his hundreds of thousands of viewers a full tour of this insane studio, which had this giant screen, musical instruments all over the place. It had table tennis, football, a basketball court, skate ramps, a pool to play, and even like this full-on music studio at the back. And believe it or not, this isn't just like a one-off thing, because on the stream, Justin said that he'll be doing streams pretty much every day as he starts to go on tour.
We're gonna be doing this pretty much every day, so make sure you tune in. It's gonna be awesome.
His first stream got nearly 400,000 views and it was about an hour long, as well as already over 55,000 subs. Also, official accounts for Justin Bieber's Twitch streams now being open on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and X, meaning it's a full-time thing now. And for those of you listening thinking, why is this a big deal? Well, let me tell you, this just proves that content creators are the future. I mean, it was just a couple of years ago where YouTubers, streamers, and TikTokers were seen as beneath other professions like athletes, actors, and musicians. You know, you were never really an A-list celebrity if you were just a content creator. But today, come on, this proves that that is flipped. First, we got Ronaldo setting up his YouTube channel and was posting regularly. He even collabed with Mr. Beast, and I'm sure he will continue once he's retired from football. You got people like LeBron James, Kim Kardashian jumping on Kai Cenat's stream, and now Justin Bieber saying that he's going, Twitch, daily streaming. Like, these are some of the largest celebrities of this generation. And now even they are turning to content creation, which is very different from posting on Instagram. And also think about the entirely new audience that these kinds of names will be bringing into streaming and YouTube. Honestly, I see it as a huge win for the entire space, and I wish Justin Bieber all the success. And who knows, maybe he'll be coming for the streaming crown from Speed. Snatch that
corn casserole.
As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but for now, moving on. Okay, guys, buckle the hell up, because this next story is truly insane. A 23-year-old Scottish woman faked her entire pregnancy using a prosthetic baby bump. She faked scans and even used a mechanical silicone baby to deceive her friends and family after giving birth. Got all of that? Well, guess what? It goes even further, because she somehow convinced the baby's father. How? Now here's the thing, pretending to be pregnant was the easy part. In public, she'd always wear this prosthetic, and online, she posted ultrasound scans and even coming up with convincing details that, why would you make this up? But her baby had a heart defect. The test showed that, so why would you question something like this, huh? She had a gender reveal party, a baby shower where her loved ones turned up with expensive gifts, like car seats and prams. You know how much prams can set you back? I don't know. No idea, but it sounds like something would be expensive. But, now that you're in it, when it came time to actually giving birth to this baby, which, usually happens after 9 months, she was like, shit, okay, let's keep going. So she locked in and, quote, gave birth completely alone, which I'm assuming means she didn't go to the hospital, because that would have given it away. And then after this, she started posting pictures online of her newborn, which turns out to be this hyper-realistic newborn baby doll. This is something that's new to me. Sorry, it's called Reborn Doll, and apparently these things can move. They can change their facial expressions. They can, quote, pee and poo, and what the actual use case is for very often is for those people struggling with infertility, infant loss, and dementia, not to play some wild month-long prank on your family and friends. Oh, and these things can set you back hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So at this point, she was locked. Maybe she was using some of the gifts money that she received for the baby that didn't exist to then buy a real baby or a fake baby. God, this is baby inception. Now, as you'd imagine, eventually her family started suspecting that something was sus, right? Because one, they weren't allowed to touch it, and two, they never heard it cry. So and I think at some point she started realizing, like, okay, when do I stop? Because if we keep this going, realistically, I'll have to adopt a child, send it off to college. You know, the point is, this has to end at some point. And so, finally, she decided to call it a day, and she did so by, drum roll please, letting the father know that the baby died. Glad she let him down gently. And at this point, everything started falling apart because the mother also went into her room and found the fake baby doll and was like, oh, now it all makes sense. Now, since this all went down, she has received huge backlash online, and she has apologized in a now deleted Instagram story, saying things like, you didn't deserve to be lied to like that, none of you did. Everyone who came to the gender reveal, all the people who gave me gifts or supported me, just didn't know how to stop once I started. Yeah, how do you confess? Oh, I faked a pregnancy. Rough. And to everyone I made look bad along the way, the dad and his family especially, I'm assuming they weren't together every day, I am sorry. Yeah, I told you. Wild. I don't think I've read something that strange in a good while, so good read. Moving on. Okay, we also got some wild new updates on the heist that happened in the Louvre in France. Because as you would know, because you watched Monday's episode, over the weekend, we literally saw the heist of the decade, if not the century. I will go as far as saying that. A group of men pulled up with a removal van that had a mechanical lift. They ascended to the second floor. They cut their way inside, stole what we now know as over $100 million in jewelry, and that is not incorporating their historical value, and then fled the scene on motorbikes, never to be seen again. So you want to do the calculation. From the moment they pulled up to the moment they left, that was 7 minutes in total, meaning $14.5 million per minute. I don't even think Elon is making that kind of bread. But this is when the situation gets a little sus, because just 2 days later, a very rare tornado ripped through a French town just outside of Paris, killed 1 person, injured 10, and left 4 people in critical condition. I mean, Paris is not really known for their tornado. That's more like a Mississippi type beat. It ripped off entire roofs. It caused 3 cranes to come crashing down, one of which fell on a clinic. Entire areas, their power was cut. And I'm watching this thinking, ayo, what kind of cursed-ass jewelry did these guys steal? We know that it belonged to Napoleon III's wife, which he gave to her as a gift, so Napoleon's ghost coming back with a vengeance. And to make matters even more unbelievable in this story, the museum's director has revealed that no cameras covered the area where the thieves broke in. Bro, you are guarding hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of stuff, and you don't even have a camera? The director told French senators that the CCTV around the Louvre's perimeter was weak and aging. And just to top the whole story off, a picture from the AP is going viral showing who is claimed to be a detective working the case. And when I first saw this, I was like, AI for sure, because you just can't trust anything nowadays. But no, this picture is 100% real, and bro is dressed in the exact fit that I imagine a French detective, Monsieur Sherlock, is. I mean, honestly, how is this reality that we're living not just a Netflix series? Because that is straight up out of a movie. And the fact they still haven't found these guys yet, despite how heavily surveilled we are in the Big 25, just makes it even more unbelievable. Bro, and the public, I swear they don't give a damn. In fact, it's even like they enjoy it.
We are very excited with my friend to go in and to see like where the jewelry were stolen and everything, because how could people like steal things from the Louvre? It is very exciting.
Anyway, as this insane case develops, I'll keep you guys updated. Moving on. Also this week, history was made. The world has a new most powerful woman. This is Sanae Takaichi. And this week, she was elected as Japan's first ever female prime minister. And not only does that put her in control of the world's 4th or 5th largest economy, depending on which sources you go to, but she did this despite despite Japan's politics being still heavily male-dominated. And what makes this even more interesting is that she actually shares a lot of conservative viewpoints with the man that is in control of the world's first largest economy. I mean, some have even gone as far to say that she is the female Donald Trump. And the similarities go further than just their conservative viewpoints, because they both had a background in television, so no politics, and she was even a biker and a heavy metal drummer before this. Her father worked at a car company, her mother was a police officer, and now I guess they are parents to the most powerful woman in the world. I'm telling you, are we not living in a movie? Moving on. Okay, now talking about Japan's prime minister going from nothing to something, France's former president this week did the exact opposite. Nicolas Sarkozy was once the leader of one of the most powerful countries in the world, but today he is being placed in one of the country's toughest prisons. And thanks to an exclusive from CNN, we now have a look inside the cell where he will be living his next 5 years of life in. But here's the wild part, right? His lawyers told the public that Nicolas Sarkozy, he won't be getting any special treatment because of his status, right? Everyone is equal in the face of the law. He'll be spending 23 out of 24 hours in a 10-meter squared cell. He'll have a metal bed like everyone else, a small desk, a TV, and a fridge. But when he actually went inside, it turns out he did get some special privileges. Basically, he's going to be allowed to take his police protection into jail with him, and they will be staying in the cell next door, which, if you think about it, that's a really sucky job. Going to prison for work and staying in a cell? What the hell? Now, this was apparently approved given his status and the amount of threats that he faces. Yeah, that makes sense. And if you're wondering why he is in there in the first place, well, like most politicians that end up going to jail, corruption. Simple answer. He was found guilty of conspiring to fund his election campaign with money from the late Libyan dictator, Gaddafi. What the hell? Nicolas Sarkozy has now become the first French leader to be sentenced to prison since World War II. We're making history every week. Moving on. Another bit of history that we've made this week is that Trump's deportation numbers were just revealed, and it's now official. 500,000 illegal immigrants were deported in just the first 9 months of the Trump administration. Reports state that these numbers are on pace to shatter deportation records by the end of the year. And the thing is, it's not just the amount of people being deported or leaving the United States, it's also the number of people illegally entering has plummeted to a 55-year low. NBC report that during the Biden administration, Eagle Pass, which would see around 2,000 crossings per day, well, they say that number now stands at roughly 20. That's wild. The DHS Assistant Secretary has told Fox News that in total, 2 million illegal immigrants have left in just 9 months, including 1.6 million who voluntarily self-deported. Those are staggering numbers. But of course, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. But for now, moving on again. Oh, you know what? I need to do some housekeeping. Where's my whip? First of all, before we have our 3 sacrificial lambs, couple of bribes. $20 was given to NEWSSDADDYY for her poem. Another $5 was given to Alex the editor. Don't worry, they will be paid. And then $50 was given to the Empire. And here's the crazy part. For a petition that was already successful. Buddy, I think you need to be watching every video. But here's the thing. We don't do refund on bribes. No, we don't. No, we don't. Oh, fuck. All right, Alex. Let's get him on the wall. It's been a minute. Petitions really distracted us from these sacrificial lambs, huh? Now remember, guys, these whippings are so much more meaningful because we are on the home straight, okay? Last 100K before 1 million. Subscribe to the channel! Woo! Oh, good. Oh, and something you guys haven't heard in a really long time. The sound of crickets. And rapid fire news! Joe Rogan just said on his latest podcast that after Trump has done his 4 years, and instead of doing 4 more years, he should run for governor of California and go in and fix it.
What Donald Trump should do is when he leaves the office, run for governor of California. And just take over California and fix it.
I mean, come on. Knowing Trump, this is absolutely not out of the realms of possibility. But whether people vote for him in California, that's another whole thing. Next, yet another person has won the lottery using ChatGPT. This is sickening. Last month, a 45-year-old woman from Michigan won $100,000 at a local Powerball. And she said that she asked ChatGPT for a set of Powerball numbers, and those are the numbers that I played, quote. Then, just 2 days later, what are the chances? A woman from Virginia also hit the jackpot in the exact same way, and she won even more than the previous lady, $150,000. Oh, but here's the crazy part. She donated all of the money to charity. I'm sorry? Wait, did you not want the money? Is that not why you were playing? You're just doing it for sport at this point. Don't take the luck. Moving on. Also, remember that huge internet meltdown that we had at the beginning of this week? It feels like forever because the news cycle is just ridiculous. But it turns out that it went far beyond just, internet. Oh, my Snapchat isn't working. No. Some people had broken backs. Not literally. A bunch of smart beds started fritzing out, and users using the 8 sleep pod mattresses, you know those, because they're expensive as like $2,000, they reported incidents of overheating, beds getting stuck in the upright position, and being unresponsive. That's what you get for thinking you can sleep better than us. Next. Also, mosquitoes were just found in Iceland for the first time ever. Guys, what are we doing here? You mean to tell me that you guys in Iceland never had mosquitoes in the first place? Oh, Iceland just went to the bottom of my countries that I like. I'm gonna say it. I'm glad you guys have volcanoes. So basically, this is because the country had a record-breaking heat wave this spring, which essentially made it warm enough for mosquitoes to pull up, hop out, and be amongst the Icelandish. Is it Icelandish? The ice people? What do you call them? Icelandic! Why was that escaping my brain? You want to know what their hottest day ever was? 26 degrees Celsius. That's that in Fahrenheit. That's jumper weather for us. In fact, now the only other place on Earth where no mosquitoes exist is Antarctica. That's wild. And then lastly, this week we saw a huge bust called Operation Sim Cartel. And basically what you're looking at is footage of Interpol taking down a major bot farm in Latvia, Europe. I'm gonna see those people. Well, actually, maybe I won't see the bots in the comments because they made the bust. The bust, get it? Because they're... No, I'm joking. Sorry. We all know that that's what the comments are. The bots. We all know. Come on. Just listen to these numbers. They are mind-blowing. Reportedly, they were responsible for creating almost 50 million fake accounts online. 50 million. That's 2 Australias almost. Only 7 people were arrested in connection with this for 50 million accounts. That's wild. And they also seized about 40,000 active SIM cards. And basically a very uncomplicated rapid-fire news way to tell you is that they were just committing fraud. Like, lots of fraud, lots of stealing your money, so you're glad that they're caught. Oh, I think that is a wrap. And look, I know before you go in the comments, I know that we missed Wednesday's episode, all right? But we did that because I have a very special gift for you over the weekend. I'm so excited for you to see this. So anyone that's actually watched to the end, you know that someone really awesome is coming for you. And that's not just Alex under your bed. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. Hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Woo!